My friends, Merry Christmas. I hope you're well. Today I've got a fun little Christmas story for you. It is the story of the time I cooked for Dice a ham he could not resist. It's not actually a Christmas story at all, it has nothing to do with Christmas. Although, if you've contracted whatever disease I have, you might have thought, well, Tom, you just mentioned a ham. Are you sure it wasn't a Christmas ham? And now that you mention it, yes, it was. This is the tale of the time I cooked Dice an irresistible Christmas ham in the 2015 World Cup of Pokemon. So, this story takes place just a short 9 years ago, when I am matched up with Dice in the second round of the World Cup of Pokemon. And this would be the last tournament game I played, so I was a little burnt, heading into this game. We've got a week to prepare, then it turns into days, and then it gets to about 3 hours before we're scheduled to play, and I still haven't picked a team. So I decide I'm going to revamp this team, maybe my favorite team I've ever made, or at least one of the three, so I've done a little bit of prep for this video. This team, and this team, my goodness, this team just looks beautiful. And this team, these are maybe my three favorite teams that I've made. But this one is what we're focusing on, so this is a Double Dance Lando T. Crucially, in this battle against lefties, I never got to reveal the attacking moves on the Lando T. We've got Weavile. Now, we should just have a little detour here, because this is SPL 6, Week 6. The 6th week. This is the first Weavile in SPL 6. I was the first person to bring it. Then, 2 weeks later in Week 8, 2 people bring Weavile. And in Week 10, 4 people bring Weavile, which is 20% of the OU teams. And we know what happened. Weavile became an OU staple. I'm just hereby claiming, in passing, that I made Weavile OU by bringing this great team. Then moving on, we've got Banded Scissor and Mega Slowbro. But 5 months pass between this battle and the battle against Dice. So I decide, well, I better revamp the team. I've been really enjoying Mega Scissor, so I changed the Banded Sizz to a Mega Sizz. I changed the Mega Slowbro to a Latios. This bolsters the Charizard Y defenses a bit. But as I said, I sort of just made these changes a little haphazardly, 2 hours before this game. And it turns out that I had neglected a certain threat, which is this one, Charizard X. Because changing Slowbro, Mega Slowbro no less, to a Latios makes you a whole lot weaker to Charizard X. And now let's come full circle, back to the ham, the Christmas ham, pardon me, that I've got cooking in the oven at Team Preview. We're going to bring up a little infographic here, and I'll refer to this, it's a bit hard to measure, temperature, you measure in degrees, it's like a clearly defined scale of how hot and cold something is. This time, this is a measure of how much the scent of ham is wafting. Now, we'll refer to this as the extent of the scent. So at Team Preview, I'd say the scent of ham is wafting at about a 6 out of 10. Right, I've got my ham in the oven, Dice is thinking to himself, ooh, that smells good. All I have to do is weaken this Landorus T. I remember Tom using this team in SPL, so I think the Lando is offensive. So I just hit that once, and then Charizard Dragon dances up, and I just sweep his entire team. Happy days. With only a 6 out of 10 ham waft, Dice has not yet lost control of his thoughts and actions, so he can still play the battle reasonably, sensibly. But that ham, he can smell it at a 6 out of 10 already, it is a lot for Team Preview. So we'll just maybe pardon some of Dice's plays that were influenced by the ham. But let's just get into this. I'm terrified of the Zardex. He's going to sweep me with Zardex, so let's just do our best. This game did happen 9 years ago, so this won't be a super slow, detailed recount with pausing. We're just going to sort of let it happen. So get rocks up. Pretty sensible with the Zardex being the biggest menace of all time. Loom and Scissor, we're sort of going to trade here, just doing almost half with our priority moves. I'll be able to sort of roost stall this a bit until he gets +4, at which point I will have to get my act together. But Dice decides, no, I'm just not going to sacrifice my Breloom in this way. Brings in his Lando, which appears to be his rocker, so I wasn't expecting the Swords Dance, but then that does scare me out. and I play the start of this game just way too passively. I was just nervous and scared, as can happen in a tournament game. So, like, I'm just giving him way too much. Like, sure, just take my sleep fodder completely for free. I won't even go into my laddie to dodge this obvious earthquake. Bring in Weavile, which, by the way, I did make OU. Dice sends in his only check to Weavile to take the Icicle Crash, so that's a little controversial. But he does definitely get the better of me here. Now, bringing in Scissor was quite a nice play there. Not that I had much else I could do against the Jirachi, but it does keep the Breloom at bay, although he sends it in, and I decide to risk the Bullet Punch roll, which thankfully I get. Dice, with his aggressive plays, just gets the better of me here. Again, just being way too nervous, so let's just stay in here. He's not going to let me send Sizz in for free, but oh, yes he does, which of course was his only play because he has no Draco switch in. Sizz comes back in like it is posing a little bit of a threat, which is very nice. With the rocks up, Dice is just not going to be able to deal with it that well. Go for knockoff, he has no switch in for knockoff, and I get a crit there, which doesn't really matter, but it does reduce Dice's ability to keep this as an intimidate sack. So just going to roost up until I'm healthy enough to take 2 earthquakes, at which point I can start swords dancing. This comes in, not going to allow this rapid spin for free because that Charizard is just getting out of control. So now, finally we get to adjust our waftometer. So now Dice has gotten rid of my Stealth Rock for good. The rocker is dead, Charizard is still at full. We can maybe just up this to like a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's an 8 yet, but 7 out of 10, Charizard is just becoming a pest. And it's going to very quickly go up to an 8 out of 10 here because I send in my offensive Lando and Dice Flare Blitzes me for massive damage, confirming that I'm offensive. Now, I don't know whether he's jolly, so he either switches out because he is scared of Scarf or he's not jolly. And I decide at this point, look, I've been playing too passively. I could have predicted a bunch of these plays, but I didn't. So now the Scent of Ham has quickly gone from 6 to 8. Like, he's done all of the preparation he needs. He's got rid of the rocks for good. He's weakened the Landorus. Now all he needs to do is switch out, come back in, set up a Dragon Dance on the Sizz maybe, and he is good to go. There's nothing I can do. Flare Blitz recoil probably won't even put him in range of Ice Shard, and if it does, he'll have his Rachi left to check the Weavile, so he set it up perfectly. And my only option is to add the final layer of glaze to this beautiful ham I've got cooking in the oven. It is succulent, it is juicy, it's glazed to perfection. Gordon Ramsay would be jealous of this ham. So, of course he's going to sack Landorus. We go for knockoff, right? What kind of offensive Landorus runs knockoff? Well, I may have mentioned this, but I never revealed my attacks in this battle. Like, this Landorus nearly won in 8 turns, but lefties hit his Hypnosis, and I did not get a first turn wake like I would have won in 8 or 9 turns if I woke up first turn or he missed Hypnosis. But anyway, Double Dance Landorus runs Stone Edge and Earthquake. And even then, Double Dance Landorus makes up a tiny portion of Landorus T's in the metagame. Like, they're all defensive or scarfed. So I show him knockoff. He thinks an offensive Landorus with knockoff, that's going to be scarf. I distinctly remember Dice's teammate in the World Cup saying in the Smog Tours lobby, free Dragon Dance. Like, here I am, I've just given it to Dice on a silver platter. This ham that I have cooked could not be cooked any better. I've just said, here you go, Dice. Just gorge away on this ham, right? Get your Dragon Dance on my choice-locked Landorus. Oh dear, he's gone first. I'm not scarfed. And I plop him straight into his chair with this Earthquake. And as has happened to the best of us, the scent of ham has wafted to 10. Dice loses all control of his mind and body, and I go on to win the battle. So, Dice, he could have gone into Charizard and just Flare Blitzed instead of Dragon Dancing. He could have gone to Weavile, knowing that my Landorus was either slower or locked into knockoff. But, again, it's happened to the best of us. The scent of ham was overwhelming, and I'm just going to be able to bullet punch my way to victory. And my Logitech mouse, this is an anti-promo. The scroll wheel is broken, so that's what that was at the end there. wouldn't recommend a Logitech mouse, but I would recommend having a great Christmas and having some Christmas ham, but do it responsibly. Don't let this happen to you. I love you all, and I will see you next time.